Hello and welcome to the Define YouTube channel. I am Vijay Tripathi. In this video, I'll be discussing about the ADX strategies based on various charts. If you are following us on YouTube Define channel, we have recorded two videos on ADX, one by Prashant and one by me. So if you go on to YouTube channel and look at the ADX, there are various strategies being discussed by Prashant and me. In this video, I'll be dividing into two parts. First, where I'll be discussing ADX on various chart types, which means point and figure, candlesticks, and Heikin Ashi. In second part, I'll show you we have developed a scanner for ADX where you can look at the defined trend for stocks, sectors. You can look for where the ADX is rising and trend is positive, or ADX is rising and trend is bearish trend is also rising. So you can sort out these stocks where there is momentum and the bullish or bearish. So just to explain in short what is ADX, I've done a dedicated video on ADX where I've explained in details about ADX, how to use it. So just to sum up, ADX is basically a momentum trend or indicator, like a RSI, which indicates the strength of the momentum. So if in case you want to learn about the RSI, I've recorded the video. You can just go on to the RSI video as well to check out how you can use the RSI. But with the ADX, the advantage over here is you can look at the strength of the momentum as well as the trend of the momentum. RSI indicates the strength of the momentum. So ADX has three components. One is called average DX, which is called ADX, which irrespective of trend, bullish or bearish, it will give you indication where there is a momentum or not in the stock or index. Second, there is a positive DI, which means it will calculate if I am taking 14 period ADX, so it will calculate from last 14 days the positive days or a positive whatever time frame we are using, and it will show you the momentum on positive side. Negative DI calculates only the negative days of out of 14 and it will give you a negative momentum. So there are three components to it. So now, if you look at the screen over here, I have divided screen into three parts. The left one is quantitative figure, second is candlesticks or OHLC, bar charts, whatever you're using. Third is the Heikin Ashi. So on every chart, there is an indicator in the below called ADX. So simple ADX by theory, it is termed as when it is between 0 to 20, it is termed as a neutral where there is a lack of momentum. About 20, I term is an emerging trend. Though the theory was written long years ago, I think about rather than 20, you should look at the trend about 25. So Indian markets, what I've experienced in the last 20 years, that when ADX moves about 25, there is a strong trend developing or trend emerging. Above 40, it is termed as a strong trend, 40 to 60. So you can look at apart from traditional, which is 0 to 20, which is written in the book. But I would say look for Indian markets about 25 where the momentum is emerging. Okay. Now, if you look at every chart has three lines over here. So green line is basically the ADX line. Okay. Blue line is the positive DI and red line is the negative DI. So when there are components to look at, when the positive line goes above the negative line, which is the trend is bullish. Simultaneously, vice versa, when negative, the red line goes below the blue line, which means the bears are losing the momentum booster. And when there is a bearish crossover, when the red line goes above the blue line, it means the bears are taking the control over here. So if I just look at, start with the candlesticks over here, which is widely followed, or bar charts, which are widely followed. So if you look at the bearish momentum over here and look at the red line, which is increasing, okay, simultaneously the blue line was going down and green line was also going up, which means green line is going higher where there is a trend emerging. Over here, there was a bearish trend emerging. Over here, if you look at the ADX was on these days 18, 20, 21, 24. Yeah. So this started a strong emerging trend. And when the index was trading at somewhere around 39,398, let's say 39,300, and look at the fall towards 31,000. Simultaneously, the bulls took over here, and the trend is now emerging on the bullish side. Still, if you look at the ADX over here, it is showing a sign of lackluster. Okay, so we have to wait how things develop. You can use on any time frame, right from 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 75 minutes, hourly, 2 hours, 4 hours, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever. Okay, so this is the one you should look at. Okay, when it comes to the point and figure chart, okay, about 25 generally as emerging as a strong trend. So if you look at over here, about 25, okay, now point and figure is basically a noiseless charting method, and they are objective in nature. So you can club ADX with the bullish breakout. So if in case, let's look at this, there was a bullish crossover of positive DA above negative DA. Okay, ADX also rising. Now then there is a bullish crossover or a bullish breakout. I would say DTV, double top buy, triple top buy, whatever anchor column follow through, super pattern. You look at the momentum. Okay, this was the first time when there was started lacking momentum over here. Okay, negative positivity also started falling. So whenever you see a bearish structure developing on the price chart, you exit your trades. Till then you ride the trade because the momentum is stronger over here with positive DI. Simultaneously, if I go on to the Heikin Ashi chart, okay, so Heikin Ashi chart are basically calculated based on the average. So I've recorded a special course on Heikin Ashi as well. So in case you want to go to our Define Edge Gurukul, you can enroll this course for free if you are a Demat account user. Now look at this momentum over here. Lackluster, then there are a series of bearish. So when there is a bearish series of bearish candlestick and ADX rising, negative DA rising, you know the trend is bearish, momentum is gaining over here, strength is gaining over here. Look for a shorter contract. Similarly, look at the bullish over here where this was a sign where exhaustion happened. Now look at this exhaustion with ADX falling, negative DI falling, positive DI rising. So this was a sign of a reversal over here. So with Heikin Ashi, with pointed figure, there is an objective method where you can look ADX with the price action. Now, the most important, if you should look at, if you are using RZone, we have create an indicator digger tool. I'll go to the ADX. You can select pointed figure, candle, Heikin Ashi, line break, Renko, whatever. I'm just taking the default the candlestick because it is widely followed over here, and I'm taking NSE sectors over here. You can change the time frame to daily, weekly, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, in even intraday you can check out. So I'm just looking at the daily as of now, and I click on the scan. So we have around 43 sectors over here, and if I look at the ADX trend, okay, bearish rise, which means ADX is rising with bearish momentum. And look at the negative DIY trend, which is negative DI is rising, which is above the positive DI. And if I just go on to the over here, consumer or FMCG, or we have Indian tourism. Okay, so let's go one of the chart to over here on the. So look at this positive negative DI over here. RS ADX is also rising over here. So bearish rise is there because negative seem to trending on negative one. So whenever you see this ADX going higher, you can definitely look for an opportunity. In case you want to look for an ADX levels as well, click onto the ADX levels over here. Sorted it. Okay. So ADX is 42 on Indian Nifty India Defense over here. Now trend is DMI is positive. Whenever you see a dip or a positive momentum building up on the objective charts like Heikin Ashi, point and figure, look for a bullish setups over there. You will get an amazing trend because ADX is about 25, positive DI trend is positive DI, and when the momentum is building up or the price action is building up, you will definitely look for an opportunity over there. So here is how you can scan out. Second important, you can also check the breadth of the sector based on the ADX. How? So if you are using RZone, go to the breadth indicator, breadth scanner, select OHLC over here. I'll select ADX. I'm just looking at ADX value over here. Let's say ADX value about 25 because we want the momentum. I'm not looking at bullish and bearish or not, but I want being a short-term trader, I have to look at where there is an opportunity building up. Okay, so I will look at ADX value about 25 and I'll select NSE sectors scan. So now if you look at Nifty out of 20%, which means Out of Nifty auto components, say probably there are 10 stocks, just assuming out of 10, 20%, which means two stocks are ADX about 25. So there is lack of momentum in auto stocks. So for a short-term trader, you should not focus on the auto. So if I go on to the breadth with higher value, so 70% of realty stock, 60% of IT index, where there is a momentum building up. Be it bullish or bearish, you can check on with the DMI trend going on to the indicator trigger. Select all this index where the stocks are there and look for a momentum over there. So I know for a trading point of view, I have to focus on three sectors now: realty, IT, and India digital, where which are above breadth about 25, above 50. ADX is about 25 on these components. Go on to the indicator trigger, check out what are the ADX level on the each stocks, and you can just keep on a trend. This is a top-down approach where I'm looking at sector breadth. I'm looking at ADX onto the daily chart from a momentum and strength basis. And be it bullish or bearish, you can always trade it based on the ADX and look for an opportunity over there. So this is one, as a trader, I believe you should always focus on momentum because for us it's a bread and butter, and you have to always look at the momentum. If you are an option shorter, okay, so you are looking for a short straddle strangles opportunity, you should do inverse where you have to look at ADX is below 25. So 6% of the commodities are below ADX is into a range bound. So you can look for a straddle strangle opportunity there. Other way to look at this is like these index are into a strong compression zone, or these stocks. So Nifty auto stocks are commodity stocks are into a strong compression zone over here. There could be a possibility of breaking out on the either days. So you have to keep a watch on these commodity stocks where the breakout has been happening because these are trending in the range for quite some time. And generally commodities move in a tandem. So there is a breakout on Tata Steel or probably Hindalco, the metals also comes into the commodity space. You can see a series of breakout onto a stock. So keep a watch on these other way to look at this. Okay. So I guess just to sum up, ADX on the multiple chart, indicator trigger, and breadth. I guess this is an amazing setup. So you should definitely look at on a daily basis, and it will definitely help you out. Signing off, Vijay.